Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is almost in agreement time. All right, guys, happy 4th of July to everybody. Hope you had a good, safe 4th of July, whether you did it on Saturday or you're doing it today on Sunday, whatever makes you happy. We are almost in agreement at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. While you're there, give us a like, share, all that kind of stuff. And also, where our website is up and running, it's almostinagreement.com. You can go there and get all the episodes, or on your favorite podcast provider. Do that. So, we have special thanks for the Fourth Creek Brewers Fest this week. It is July 10th at 2 p.m. at 126 South North Shore Drive. That's Union Jackson, eBay West. Go there, check out all the breweries here that Knoxville makes. So, your favorite beers than KUB water. See, I can't do it. I'm slow and I'm all fucked up. Anyway, we're almost here, everybody. We're going to do a show, and then we're going to enjoy our 4th of July. So, we appreciate everybody for hanging in and listening. Okay, so I talked too fast, and I tried to slow down.
Yeah, I thought it was so much better until you got to the point where, like, I can't fucking do this.
Like, I get it. It's automatic to me, and I acknowledge that. Like Gloria Johnson said something Monday about it. She's like, "You do that so fast, like on the radio or whatever." And it's like, I've said that same like 20 sentences. You know, we're like, but this is probably 115, 118 official episodes, whatever. I've said that same sentence, and it's evolved over time, but I've said that same kind of thing, and it's just like, it's automatic. It's like, blah.
Gotta slow it down to time it up with the intro, to where there's not that dead air space of just listening to music.
I mean, I like my tune. I'm proud of that.
I like the tune, too.
I don't know if I'd say that.
You're just always hateful. You don't like Macklemore either, and so, whatever.
So...
Bill Cosby's out of jail, everybody.
Do we talk about him every single time we get together?
You bring it up usually.
Actually,
I brought it up this time. I brought it up this time. You're correct. But usually, you bring it up, and you talk about this ass clown motherfucker on the wall. I'm pretty sure that's a quote. Anybody?
No talent, ass clown is usually what I say.
I didn't misquote you. I just left off the beginning of the sentence.
That was Michael Bolton.
Which meant that you misquoted me?
No, I just changed the context a little bit.
You didn't change the context. You left the words out. So you misquoted me.
No.
Yes.
I can't quote your entire life.
I didn't ask you to quote the entire life, but if I do this as often as you say that I do, you should know what I say.
I got the... Fine, I paraphrased. My apologies. Anyway.
Paraphrase. Much better.
I mean, I would like... For the record, if I ever say the words quote, I actually mean paraphrase. And by the rules of journalism, you're not supposed to listen to me anyway. That was a Tucker Carlson joke. Anybody? Nothing?
Nope.
He's not a journalist anyway.
Right. That was the joke, is that he's...
I mean, he really isn't.
Right, and the whole lawsuit thing, that was the joke.
There were a few people that used that same thing.
Yeah, Rachel Maddow, she used the same one.
Does she?
Yeah, she got sued by OAN.
I think Sidney Powell did the same thing.
Yeah. She got sued by OAN for saying, and I think the phrase was, literally, OAN is funded by Russia. And so OAN sued her for libel. Or defamation, or whichever one. I can't remember which one's right. But yeah, she sued, the OAN sued her and CNN for it or whatever. And they used the same as the Tucker Carlson defense of
CNN, but it's okay.
whatever, MSNBC.
I think it's
whatever.
MSNBC, yeah.
One of them. So anyway, the moral of the story is that none of it's news, and they all admit it when push comes to shove, so they don't have to pay out a lawsuit.
I feel like I'm in a room where somebody's asking me where I was on like July the 7th of 2006.
Yeah, it's an interview. That's what I do here. I do interviews here.
Like with that, I hope you have sunglasses on.
The fucking hard light interview.
Do they sit down in these fucking chairs too?
Try to make them look good. I'm trying to light them.
How? The only way you can make these look better is if
not the fucking chairs, the people that are in them.
You make the people look better by sitting in these chairs?
By putting bright lights on them so that they're not all shadowy and shit.
You're gonna waterboard me next.
Jesus Christ. That's what I get. So Bill Cosby's out of jail, everybody. How about that?
Don't care.
I mean, I kind of care.
I mean,
it's fucking. I mean, my understanding of it, in the couple of legalese people that I've heard talking about it, as far as a couple of the podcasts I listen to, is the legal standing is correct. The technicality that he got out on is correct, but it's just dumb. It's some prosecutor, one of the prosecutors from this case was a prosecutor at the time of one of his civil cases and said to him, "I promise you, we won't try you for this if you whatever during this civil case." And so the civil case went out, and Cosby testified during that civil case, and then they used that later, and that was the technicality he got out on because he was told they wouldn't use it, and then he did. So they throw the case out, and he's out of jail.
I saw an article today that Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever is basically like, well, if he got out, he's like, I should get out too.
I don't
Why
know
are
what
we
hers
calling it a
is.
technicality? It seems like it devalues it. No, I mean really, like it. I mean, when we say somebody got off on a technicality, like the implication is that, you know, it was bullshit. I mean, if it's 100% legal, it's not a technicality.
Yeah, I guess it's not.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I
not-
guess it's that he got out of, he got out of his sentence, not on the normal evidentiary process or not on a jury.
There was a finer point of
Right. It's just it's the Bill Belichick, the way Bill or the Pop Warner is, as Sam likes to reference Pop Warner in football in the past or whatever. It's like the rules don't explicitly say I can't do it this way, so I do it this way. Kind of, that's where the term technicality, I guess, I throw out in that way. But I get what you're saying.
It just doesn't seem like that's accurate. Let's say somebody barges in your house right now and shoots everybody. Everybody dies in this house.
Right.
The police show up and don't read Miranda rights to this cat, and we go to court, and we're 3/4 of the way through, and we're like, oh, by the way, the police officers didn't read the Miranda rights.
So it should be,
and the person gets off. And they didn't get off on a technicality. They got off because somebody fucked up.
Right. So what the better phrasing it is Cosby got out on a fucktard prosecutor.
I mean, you could work. I would feel a little bit more comfortable saying that, but a technicality makes it seem like
I'm just saying, but placing that
not real,
right? But using the phrase and placing the blame on what it was actually probably it was a poor decision by a prosecutor that got Cosby out of jail, not some weird technicality. It was a prosecutor made a poor decision, or in your hypothetical example, the policeman that came made a poor decision. That's why this guy's out of jail, not technicality.
I mean, how was this not brought up in like when he was convicted?
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, that could have been the play.
Did
I
it
mean,
just-
you
his
don't.
lawyer's been sitting around for a couple of years,
Well, 'cause-
like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, no. I mean, maybe you do it because you want to see if he'll get off on his own, and if he doesn't, you know that this is your get out of jail free card, quite literally.
Right,
Maybe
and
maybe it's
and
been
the
in-
bonus on it too apparently is that deeper in that Supreme Court ruling or whatever is it's not open for a retrial because the victim in this particular case was within like a couple of weeks of the statute of limitations when the charges were filed originally, and so they can't refile because it's past the statute now.
Which is exactly why you wait on this.
Right.
You tell them.
So right, to answer that question part of it.
Yeah,
but,
that's why you don't play it then. Because if you play it then and it doesn't work, they just find a different prosecutor or a different whomever. You let this play out. If he goes to jail, then okay, sorry, you're going to be there for a little bit, but we'll get you out.
right, and the only real bonus to this is I don't feel particularly concerned that there will be future victims of a Bill Cosby. That's the only silver lining in this thing.
Well, if you are a girl that gets roofied by Bill Cosby now, you deserve it.
Jesus,
Okay.
Oh man, I was mid swallow when you said that, and that kind of
heard that before.
yeah. Woo.
Now, have you guys followed any of the Brittney Spears shit going on?
A little bit. That was actually on that. That was the perfect answer in the text group when I made this statement that Bill Cosby was free. Your reply was perfect.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. Like the universe has said free Brittney Spears, and they free Bill Cosby.
I mean, I don't remember. Like, I remember it happening when it happened, as far as the whole conservatorship and she was fucking crazy kind of thing. Like, I didn't pay attention to it at all because it's Brittney fucking Spears and who cares. And so I don't even know how the function of that thing kind of works in a normal situation, regardless of Brittney Spears of it.
It still goes on. Brittney Spears has no control over her life.
Right. No, I get that. I'm saying, like, I understand the premise of what this thing is, as far as, you have she is an adult and she should be able to make her own decisions, but she, for whatever reason, she can't, and so the court's assigned, in this case, her father to be the conservator of her, basically to continue to take care of her and not let her. She's not allowed to make her own legal decisions as far as different A, B's, and C's go. Like, I understand the premise of why this thing exists. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't pay much attention. Like, was there a diagnosis of her fucking craziness somewhere along the lines that we didn't hear about?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's like they keep on medicating her, and she doesn't have, she doesn't have control of her life. And there's been some stuff about her dad's like, "Oh, you're gonna do this concert." She's like, "No, I'm not," and it's like, "Well, then you'll never see your kids again," kind of shit. So, like, forcing her to, make money for him, kind of thing. She can't even, like, buy shit that she wants, makes millions of dollars for her dad, kind of thing. It's a fucked up situation. It's pretty crazy. Like, Brittney Spears may be crazy, but she should still have control of her life. There's a lot of crazy people out there that are making money.
Right. Well, because I just looked this up while you're talking, and I couldn't find the actual specific answer, but like through royalties and shit, she's still making a ton of fucking money. So it's not just managing the money she made when she was actually popular and making money, but she's still making money today that she doesn't have access to either.
Does she make money every time somebody says, "Oops, I did it again"?
Yeah, I got to go fill out the fucking paperwork now. Thank you.
Fuck.
That's funny.
But I don't know. Like, that's I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand how that thing works. And it's like, well, if the dad is the running the estate, for lack of a better word or whatever, like, who does she have to go on her behalf to say, hey, I can do this on my own? Because obviously, by definition, she can't hire a lawyer. That would be my assumption from the process.
Well, I think I think that's what happened, though. I don't think she represented herself.
Right, I'm just saying, but I guess I'm saying it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying too. It's weird.
I mean, the only reason why it's weird is because we're talking about a person who, on the surface, is not crazy because she's making, by that account there online, $30 million a year still, and you wouldn't assume that somebody that makes $30 million a year is crazy, which is not entirely true, but that's the only reason why it seems like it's weird is because of that. I mean, there are people that have, Social Security disability checks that have a guarantor or a conservator, and we don't think anything about it. There's probably somebody within a 2-mile radius of here that has that.
Right. Like, I mean, to bring it a little personal, it is my dad has power attorney over his brother and his mom, and so they can't go do certain things without whatever. And again, I don't exactly know how that process got started in the first place, but like, I mean, I get it as a thing. It's just, again, like if my uncle decided that he doesn't want my dad taking care of him anymore, what is his avenue to do anything when my dad gets to hold all the money and do all the other things? Like, he can't go hire a lawyer. Whether he can actually go talk to a lawyer or not is one thing, but actually hire a lawyer because he can't spend money. And again, I don't know the details of my dad's situation specifically, but the premise of, I mean,
I'm assuming that her estate paid for it after the fact.
Right. So her dad paid for it with her money after the fact, going back to the Brittney Spears example.
Yeah.
This article says about $60 million.
A year?
A financial aspect.
Yeah, the one on here was like 2018, 17, something like that.
Apparently there was a Bessemer Trust, a wealth management firm, that had been tapped as co-conservator of Brittney Spears' estate. And they asked to withdraw from the case.
I don't want anything to do with this crazy shit.
All the people it sounded like they were trying to walk away from it. Yeah.
Everybody's crazy. I don't want anything to do with it. Did you guys go? Did you guys listen to my critical race theory interviews this week?
I haven't. But
no.
I listened to the
Gloria Johnson one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy Kenny Zhu XU, which is weird because he's not local and he's releasing a book. Like, I was on somebody's promo tour. That's kind of neat.
Wow.
It's the
think it's
The
Shoe.
Inconvenient Immigrant, playing off of the Al Gore thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's really about that Harvard, the SFFA Harvard case, where Harvard was requiring higher ACT or SAT scores for Asian students than they were for whites and blacks and
Anybody else?
Latinos and whatnots.
Was that a question, or you just?
No, I was just throwing it out there, just trying to move the topic along. We can go back to Britney Spears if you guys want to.
No, I don't.
No thanks.
I can do the intro as fast as I can. I can see if I can try to do the intro.
I figured you'd done it already.
At epic speed.
Is it normal
Well,
speed?
they can raise the ACT scores for Asians to like infinity, and they would still be more Asians in college than anybody else. Those motherfuckers figure out how to get in.
It's Tiger Moms.
What?
I was gonna get all semantical on like more than anybody else. I'm pretty sure there's more white kids in college than anybody else, but it doesn't matter. It was just his semantics.
What is white?
Debacle. Asian, apparently. At least for college admissions and other things.
Asians are the highest percentage
Again,
per segment,
per minority group?
per group. Yes.
Per minority group.
No, like
As a percentage of their, as compared to the percentage of them in the total population? Or at
exactly.
Okay.
They're the highest percentage of obviously, there's more white people in the United States, like 60%. So obviously, there's going to be more.
Right, compared to their percentage of the total population, there are a higher percentage of Asians in colleges than. This is your assertion. This is not my statement. This is just me trying to clarify your assertion. I don't know. AC's looking it up for you, seeing if you can find some stats.
Doesn't matter. Look it up.
Google it, bitch.
Al Gore that shit, I think is the phrase that we use here.
Have you ever met a dumb Asian? Seriously.
Yeah. I worked for a couple of them.
Here, you work for a couple guys that made a shit ton of money being dumb Asians.
I don't know if they made it. I don't know. They survived. Their parents made a shit ton of money. I don't know how good. I don't know how well they've done, but I don't know. Whatever. That's that's a whole another series of episodes.
That's another whole episode.
But went to the parade this morning. I saw all the Willies.
You wear your rainbow flag?
I didn't. I wore my I Like Tickle shirt. But
Can we appreciate the fact that at least every other time that the tickle statement comes up, it's discussed by him?
it's a preemptive strike.
Preemptive strike.
But yeah, we got to do the parade next year. We're gonna do it for the show. We get the 9-liners. We'll get a trailer. We'll put the 9-liners on the trailer.
9-liners?
Mm-hmm.
The hell's that?
I don't know what the hell are the 9-liners.
My wife's band.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
What's
the significance of the name?
So, when you have somebody that's injured in the military and you need to call like a medevac, there's 9 lines that you need to tell. I mean, I'm sure the hospitals have a list of, situations of a patient that's going down, and like these are the things that you need to tell about that person to another person to establish.
So essentially, it's like medevac crew comes in, picks up a guy. There's 9 details that need to be passed on to the emergency staff to take care of this individual.
Exactly.
And so it's that in military jargon they call that the 9-line or 9-line.
9 lines.
Yeah. Because you see it around. I've seen it on like stickers on trucks and stuff.
So it's a. I mean, AC should appreciate it. It's a medical inside kind of thing.
Hmm.
And so, the idea of the band is to try to help people out with, PTSD and bring the awareness to veteran suicide kind of stuff. So the other singer in the band, he was a medic in the Coast Guard, so that he was the one who came up with the name Nine-Liner. So it was a Nine-Liner project, and then it became the Nine-Liners band.
So while we're on the topic, it's the 17th they got a show, right?
Yep, the 17th we got a show at the Chatterbox.
Chatterbox, Knox County's longest running
oldest
alcohol.
bar.
Plug it up. Plug. So, anyway, did you find the stats while we're chatting about the Nine-Liners?
I'm looking for it. I can't find anything yet.
You have to go to IHateRagheads.com. Is that the right website?
The thing is, he can't find something to disprove me, so he keeps on looking.
Well, but he didn't find anything that
Nice.
proved you right either. So that doesn't make it. I mean,
No, you can skip over the stuff that proves me right and keep on looking for something that proves me wrong.
oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You
Have
can
you
find
skipped over anything that proved him right to try to find their own?
No.
You can find a
Because it'd be a
chart
lot easier
to
if I-
back up anything.
It would be a lot easier if I did pick up something that said that he was right. It means that I would stop having to look for it.
Anyway, so yeah, we got the parade. We're going to be in the parade next year, so look out for the float next year. We'll do a live podcast and from the back of the float, as well as a Nine-Liners performance. It'll be a good time.
58% of Asian young adults are in college, compared to 42% of white.
There you go.
Boom.
Hmm.
According to who? Asian Daily?
National Center for Education and Statistics.gov.
Oh, it's .gov. It must be legit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They don't lie.
Yeah, if it's .gov, it's 100% accurate.
Well, it
The
depends.
government would never ever lie to us.
It depends. If this was a Trump stat that was put under the Trump administration, who knows? If it was Biden's, who knows? Depends on who wrote it.
Well, it wouldn't be under Biden for sure.
Why is that?
Because they wouldn't have done a report yet?
No, because it would have been like the Asian American.
He doesn't write the fucking
college
things.
Is what is the temperature outside right now?
Apparently, they're dumping the. They're gonna demolish the rest of that apartment complex or whatever in Miami.
Or they're trying
Saw
to,
that
yeah.
today.
With the
Did I fall asleep and miss the transition?
I just went ahead with it
Okay.
because I couldn't figure out how to phase off of.
This is starting off really well.
Yeah, this is a good show. I love it. That's what we do. That's what happens. This is what happens when we start at 2,300
Sure,
and
well-
a half or something.
when was the last time all four of us were on together?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's about a month ago. We were actually all four in the room together, which you haven't done that in a while either.
That's right.
fair.
But I don't know what's going on, people. What's been happening? I'm trying to talk about the parade. It was fun. It's funny. Becky Massey walked by in her float or whatever, and the whole time she was texting or something. She was playing on her phone.
What?
I was like, "What are you doing, Becky?"
Goodness gracious.
Did she recognize you, or did she not? know
No,
you,
she was
like-
looking at her fucking phone, bro. That's what I just said.
Well, I mean, she wouldn't have recognized him anyway unless he had fucking Macklemore over his fucking shoulder.
It's true. I got a handshake from Biggs.
Who's Biggs?
Justin Biggs. He's county commission seat 11 right now, and he's running for chancellor, or he's running for a new seat in 22.
Comptroller?
No, not comptroller. Do we have a Knox County comptroller?
I was half listening to that conversation, and I heard
I've
comptroller, and I
still
was
been
like,
trying
oh,
to
God, this is
confirm or
wonderful.
deny this.
Have you got us a TWA guy lined up yet?
I haven't even looked.
Jesus
Actually,
Christ.
Sorry.
It's 2 weeks ago.
Text me tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
There's a
Text
story
me.
earlier this
I'll
week about
forget,
the
dude. I'll
comptroller,
just-
that it was Jason Mumpower, which is the state comptroller.
How much does a PA get paid?
PA?
Yeah,
physician's
personal
assistant?
Personal
Oh.
assistant.
I mean, anything you want.
All right. Well,
Isn't there a physician's assistant as well?
There
Yeah.
is.
PA?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought he was talking about.
just trying to figure out how much I should charge for me giving him a job to do and then me doing it for him.
Ah. Poke, poke.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, yeah. How long did you promise this Gloria Johnson?
A while.
And how long did it take me to get her?
I have no idea.
It was like 72 hours from.
Fucking fell in your lap. Don't fucking brag
I'm
about
sure
it.
it did. It was well. I asked a question. I put it out to one of my Facebook groups. And I said, "Hey, we'll talk about this critical race theory thing. Who knows somebody that would be a good guest on the show?" And somebody said, and tagged and said, "Hey, talk to at Gloria Johnson." And then Gloria Johnson came on and said, "Here's my number. Give me a call." So I did.
I thought it was pretty cool. She gives that out to anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like, do you have two phones? She's got to have two phones.
I don't know.
Did she post that in like the Facebook?
Yeah,
group?
she gave her phone number on the show. Like during the show.
What's his name? Tim Burchett does that too.
Yeah, well, one of the things about it is that, like with her with her office and desk situation, she doesn't have an assistant. Her assistant died last year, like because they get assigned an assistant from the state for being a rep or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And her assistant died, and they
Like in
hired.
a car?
I don't
Or
know.
like
I didn't.
Old age?
I didn't feel like it was a necessary for conversation to ask why, but I was curious. Don't get me wrong. I wanted that crossed my mind as well, but.
So like you couldn't be like, oh my God, what happened?
It just didn't feel right, so I didn't ask. But anyway, her assistant died, and they hired her a new one and took the new one to her office. And I don't know how much. I mean, I know AC knows about it, but how much you've paid attention to her office situation that was happening this year. But they basically put a desk in a hallway in some building in Nashville and said, "Here's your desk, Gloria." And so the assistant they hired came in and she's like, "Well, I don't have anywhere to put my stuff. I don't have anywhere to put any of the, like a computer and files and all the different things that I need to do the job." And so the assistant quit. And so which
is exactly what
right
they wanted to have happen.
Right, and apparently spent like $10,000 on the general fuckery that they were doing to her in this office building situation. And so she doesn't have an assistant, so she's like, "Just call me." I was like, "That's legit. I like that. Not mad at that." I mean, she's your rep there, Max. Like, I'm pretty sure she reps your house. It's pretty much all of East Knox. It does like a C shape around downtown. Big chunk of North Knoxville goes around, and then does a bunch of South Knoxville too.
That's crazy.
It's District 13. If you want to look up your MLS stats and figure out what.
I looked up what do I look up?
Go to KGIS and put your address in, and it'll tell you what all your districts are, schools, and you don't have a city district, but it'll tell you your county and whatever.
It's like kgis.com.
It's .org, I believe. But you should. What do you want me to put do? All right, KGIS.
I was just pointing out that you're wondering this with.
I'm not wondering
means
this.
right in front of you.
I mean, okay, so hey Max, what's your address? You want to put that on the show for us? No.
Well, you were just wondering what the fuck the address was to tell him. You're like, I don't know.
I said I'm pretty sure it's.
I don't have a computer in front of me.
I said I'm pretty sure it's .org, and hey, look at me, I'm right.
Okay, you were right. Great.
You're saying
I was just saying you could have you confirmed it. You have a
Uh,
friend that was asking
Kappa,
you.
Gamma, Iota. I don't know if that's right. Sigma.
it would be Kilo Golf India Sierra.
That's right.
You know what? I got the right. I got the right letters to your brain, so I win.
One thing that was interesting, working with former Knox County Sheriff's deputies, they told me apparently for that they would use names versus
Kevin, Greg.
which threw them off because both of them are former military, so they kind of had to learn a whole new like pneumatic system or whatever. Or not pneumatic.
She was born in Denver, Max.
Yep. She taught in Denver for a while too.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, she made mention of her campaign contributions, and she's like, the only thing out of state I get is some of my friends from Colorado that used to teach with me. And we had a whole sub conversation about family in Fort Collins. Well, I still have family in Fort Collins. You don't anymore, Max. But
No.
you get that motor fixed?
So the first mechanic he talked to, it was like $6,000 to replace a head gasket because he said it was 4,800 or 48 hours worth of labor.
What?
The guy he can't come by yesterday said, yeah, I can do it. I just got to look up the parts. The parts are like $300, and he was like, it's about 12 hours. So obviously it's going to be a lot cheaper.
It's going to take me
So
48 hours.
Yeah. One guy says 12 hours, and the next guy says 48 hours. Like, how is that? How are you guys so far off?
I mean, they're used to people that have money, and they're like, whatever it takes to fix it. Buffy,
Yeah, exactly.
Buffy needs to hit the water.
Oh, look at that! If you look it up on KGIS, it not only tells you your district, it tells you who they are.
Cool.
So, like, I pulled mine up. It's voting district 71, which is Rocky Hill School. Here's the address: Tennessee House 18, Eddie Manis; State Senate, Becky Massey; County Commission 4, Kyle Ward; and then the 2 at-large seats, Larson and Biggs; and School Board, Virginia Babb.
I really don't like how I put my address in. I just went to kgis.org and put my address in, and then it says my name.
Yeah, it says your name and address, and it says
It's public record.
you can go back through and find all the
So
people that used to own your house.
What do I click on?
Click on the paper-looking thing.
Voting location search?
No,
Hey,
you
yeah.
I thought you clicked on the
search
person
the
thing.
address, and where you see your name pop up, right?
Paper?
Right. So there's like a weird white person, piece of paper, and then a KGIS with a sun sphere looking thing. Click the paper.
I think it was more a yellow person.
I don't know. Maybe your color's off on your phone, but mine looks like a white person.
Okay.
I mean, it's like an 80% likely accurate statement.
That's weird. So if he does have Gloria over there, that really is a fucked up district because my parents have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a big C shape around downtown.
Michelle Carringer is the Tennessee House.
Okay.
Massey is
Right.
Tennessee
Okay.
Senate.
So you're not District 13. You're District. What district number is that?
I don't know.
Tennessee House. Tennessee State House. What's the number? 16.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you need to call. You need to call her and get her on the show.
6.
Yeah, because so the Senate district is almost all of Knox County. There's a tiny bit of Knox County that goes to
Straw Plains?
no, that goes up in it's Oak Ridge. It's Anderson County, and a chunk of it pulls a little bit out of Knox County. The vice governor McNally, because he has all of Oak Ridge, and then a little tiny piece of, and then AC your KGIS will be exactly mine, but you'll also get city.
I didn't even put her down.
Yeah, but you'll have your city, which is Roberto, on top of.
This is kind of crazy though. Like, seriously, more people need to know about this TGIS.org because there's all sorts of information. Get off that shit you didn't know.
Yeah, like what are you learning right now? Like,
But it has the plot lines. It talks about your subdivision, what you're zoned in.
yeah, like for me, which is a funny one because like
deed type, full coven, whatever that is.
yeah, mine is a full coven as well.
I bought the house.
Yeah, so if you go a little bit below that, it gets you the personal information. The Knox County planning information, census tract, whatever number, and then planning sector, West City. So if you're ever looking into planning meetings and they're talking about a sector, you know whether it's you or not.
So I'm in North County.
Yeah, so what's interesting about mine is that I'm a county resident, but I'm in city planning.
Your site name's weird.
Hey, AC, you looked at that house I sent you the other day?
I didn't, only because I don't know if I can deal with the log cabin inside, dude.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like that's it was very log cabiny on the outside. I was like, that's not bad, cool porch. Then I'm like, oh, it's very log cabin on the inside too.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, if it would have been for that, we would have been down for sure.
Yeah, make that shit look like a log cabin on the outside, but nice and
Why don't you just build it?
drywall.
Why don't you just build, bro?
Lumber prices are too much.
They're coming down.
They're still high.
Oh, are they? I
Faux
don't know.
wood.
It doesn't matter.
Plastic looking wood.
I bought a $40 12 by 48 piece of wood and I freaked out. It was solid oak. But.
Yeah. I don't know if you've met me or not, but I think I need more than one of those to build a house.
It's like $45 for a 12 inch or 1 foot by 4 foot piece of wood. 3/4 inch. It's a nice piece of wood,
1 foot by 4 foot.
Gotta love supply and demand.
But it's oak. I mean, it's a solid oak piece of wood, so it's like, I mean, it's not like
What were you doing with?
Do what?
What were you doing with that?
Building a paddle.
A paddle, like for your canoe?
To whoop your ass.
No, cuz let me tell you something. A man over here, he's gonna get beat by his woman.
All right. So in other news, Bill Cosby's out of jail.
Like a paddle for a child or a paddle
Nope.
for?
No, it's actually it's the
Keep going.
it's the shelf on our Dutch door is what it was.
The shelf. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I needed something that didn't need a bunch of bracing and all that kind of bullshit. But it was also poorly signed, and I was like, fuck, or whatever. Like it said it was like $24 on the way the sign read, it was like $24, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I walk up there and it's like $44.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did Fernando
cheaper solid wood.
door down?
Do what?
Did Fernando cut that door down?
Yeah, we got it. We got it all assembled and sanded, and we're gonna go tomorrow and install it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm hanging out with a Mexican for the 4th of July. What's up? Well, today. I mean, I guess for you guys listening, it already happened, but whatever. Tell you about that next week.
It's already up there.
That's right.
High.
Well, I'm looking bad because it needs painted still, but it'll be painted this week. It's gonna be sweet. July 10th, 2 p.m., 126 South North Shore Drive. Beer.
Party.
What? I had something else I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what it was.
Anal beads?
You wanted me to remind you about
Let's
one
go.
thing.
What was it?
Said you wanted me to remind you about one thing.
What was it? I just thought
The,
of one or two. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it was the I guess it was from 2017 or whatever NPR's been doing.
Oh yeah,
I guess
yeah.
where they put out the Declaration of Independence, and I guess more so in recent past they started tweeting out, in 300 character or whatever.
Did you send it to me or did you send it to the group?
Just you.
So this is a USA Today story, and this was an older one. It's July 5th, 2017. NPR tweeted out a line at a time, because it's tweets, of the Declaration of Independence, and so people weren't really paying attention, and so there were certain sections of it people were freaking out about it, because it's like, what's the phrase? So like NPR tweeted out, it is the right of the people to alter, what the fuck did I just do? It is the right of people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government. And so like somebody responded like, so NPR is calling for a revolution and shit like that. And it's just the joke of, people don't know the document well enough and they're freaking out thinking that NPR's being uber political about a thing.
Yeah, that it was all directed at Trump because it was the first 4th of July that Trump was in office.
And it's just an illustration of the automatic, like, how can I take this wrong and in the worst light for some reason or the other.
Well, that's just, I don't know if people are just wired like that, but like, you have your we'll say Halls versus Powell High School. Like, oh, fuck you, Powell. I don't want anything to do with you, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, wait, Kentucky? Fuck you, Kentucky. We're Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, fuck you, Russia. We're United States. Like, everybody just wants to have an enemy, and any way you can divide people. It's like you divide it any way.
Yeah, I mean, it's right.
I was kind of wondering today. I'm like, how did some of these people even see this? Because I mean, as far as I don't know anything that much about Twitter or anything, but I'm assuming you have to be following someone to then see their tweets.
Or when or somebody that you follow retweets it or comments on it, and then you see it, and so it just takes one person that you know to be like, look, NPR is doing something stupid, and then all of a sudden you see it, and then it tumbles off. And
Gotcha.
especially with the way Twitter works, as far as I understand it, is like what NPR did a line at a time, and so they're each separate tweets. And so if you go off about something on one tweet and I end up seeing it, I don't see the fact that NPR did the whole series, and if I went back and watched and read through the whole series, I'd see that it's the entire Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Instead, I just see the one line that was pulled out that you commented on, and then all the other people commented on, and then just jump on the game. And then now we're at this full tribalism point where it's you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, instead of it just actually being there's no context, I guess, is really what especially with Twitter in this format of what NPR did, at least.
Yeah, apparently they've been doing it for like 30 years.
What?
Putting out the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, okay.
It's a little more complicated than that.
What? What? Tell me more.
Complicated than that.
The other one, okay. Well, we can go off on that, or we can go on to the next thing because I remember the other thing I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
The Olympic track, like,
oh yeah,
best, like, arguably at least the fastest U.S. woman in the 100 or 110 meter hurdles or whatever.
Yeah. Biden quoted or commented on it today. It's like, rules are rules.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, she got disqualified from the Olympics because she smoked some weed.
Yeah.
In Oregon. Not that matters.
Yeah, I saw something today. They were like, well, her grandmother just passed away, and she was just doing it because she was stressed out. I'm like, I don't fucking buy that shit. Like,
so, when is the last time she got drug tested? Because you have got Olympic trials. I mean, she was a race she did, I think, last week.
Right. I don't understand. Yeah,
it shouldn't take that long for results to come out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just that recently that she
might have had a
post
race.
I think it was. I think it was her biological mom that had died.
Right. But again, it's one of those. I mean, she's been doing this for a while. She knows the rules.
You know, you're about to get drug tested. You're literally about to go to the Olympics, where.
Right. The better argument is whether or not pot's a performance-enhancing drug or not, and whether it should be on the banned list for the Olympic Committee or whatever.
If that's the case, there's a person in this room right now that I would imagine could probably run a fucking 3.940 if that was the case.
Right. But
there was no comment.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, the reality is it doesn't matter. It's clearly in the rule book, and you know that. I guess that's my kind of where I'm at on it. Like, I think it's stupid.
Well,
I think the rule is stupid, but.
So I learned something. I learned something with this whole because I was following that kind of stuff, and you know, one of the dumb things is someone's like, "Well, she only did that because her mom passed away or whatever," and I'm like, "That's not why she did it." Like, I don't believe that for a second. The other thing was I learned with that was that NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL do not suspend players anymore for testing positive for marijuana.
They shouldn't.
I mean, but again,
I agree.
It's they're.
No, I agree with you. I don't think she should be suspended. Like, marijuana is not a performance-enhancing drug. Like, whatever. But like, out of that thing, I did not realize that they changed their whole policy that they do not suspend players for marijuana usage anymore in all the top four major sports.
But it's an organizational decision at this point, though. It's that's the conversation. That's the conversation to have.
I don't think Max is disagreeing with that. I think he's just saying that he didn't know that those four sports didn't.
I remember, like, I know the NFL was changing. I didn't know the other ones, but
yeah, I'd heard about the NFL a few years ago.
Yeah, all four major sports do not suspend players for marijuana testing positive for marijuana anymore.
I'd still say you still have issues in legal. Just because if you're
To have it in your system.
well, I just don't know how the legal works. If you're fuck, I don't know. I guess you travel enough that it doesn't matter. If you're in any of the major four, you're going to be traveling into states that it is legal. So
Yeah, you're like, I did something that was legal in that state.
but I mean, I guess the better way to put it is like if you got busted for possession in,
you can't get arrested in Tennessee.
Right, but I'm just saying, like if you're, it doesn't matter. Like if you're, I'm thinking hockey right now, or yeah, we'll do hockey right now. So if you're an LA Kings player who's a California resident, smokes all the time when you're at home or whatever, but if you're in Nashville and you get caught with possession, you're still going to have issues with the league for the legal side of things, period.
I don't know. What's your point, though?
I guess I'm just I'm differentiating the idea of the it's in your system part versus the legality part of where you
Possession,
are
right.
at the time.
Well, I mean, if
it doesn't change the sport
if LeBron
part.
James is pulled over and he's got 300 pounds of marijuana on his fucking Escalade, that's one thing. If LeBron James gets drug tested and he has nothing on him and he's test positive for THC, then he's fine.
Right, as far as the league's concerned.
Correct.
But
well, as far as anything is concerned.
No, you can still get a DWI.
Assuming he didn't get pulled over because he was swerving.
Right.
That's all that. Yeah. Again, I was just trying to differentiate. I was just differentiating the two.
So then I'll take it a step further, and then I don't understand why the NCAA bothers to.
Yeah.
I guess if it's paraphernalia, but
I
mean, I understand. We shouldn't have it tested in the NCAA then either.
I mean, to like, what's the end? I guess I guess I don't know. I mean,
Amazon came out and said
obviously I don't give a shit, but
that basically they don't give a fuck anymore. I'm assuming outside of workers' comp claims, but
right,
they weren't going to do it. I guess for
which any good company,
or,
that's their standard. It's like I don't care as long as you don't do something stupid. Then I mean, it's actually a bonus.
When I was at the store today, Amazon delivery guy came in and bought Delta 8.
Yep.
God, I can't even say that word. Fuck. I'm having a stroke right now just thinking about it.
You can't even say Delta 8 without
freaking
no.
Okay, so all right. So on the NCAA players pot issues, we have help me out. I apologize, I forgot his name.
Caden Salter.
Yeah, who's a top prospect that UT picked up, who had probably the shittiest year possible. Pretty high on the list of shitty years. That
he didn't die.
If everything's if you're gonna make a list of things that you wouldn't want to have happen to you and have to deal with and all that kind of shit, he did a shitty year. I guess that's the point I'm getting to. His second issue is a second law issue, and he's been dismissed from the team. Which again, I mean, yeah, it goes down to the moral point of why this is illegal in the first place, and then why do we do what we do.
It's illegal in the first place because we have, this is 100% true. We have some far right-wing conservative folks that believe that it's a gateway, which is bullshit. They still believe in that nonsense. Right. And until those folks die, you're still going to have, at least the Southeast is going to be completely against it. I think it's nothing more than, the devil's juice.
I don't disagree with that.
There are also major corporations that lobbied against it as well.
Sure. I mean, one of the biggest ones is the prison guard unions hate the idea of legal pot.
Well, that means they'd have less people in jail.
Right.
So, I mean, it's...
I mean, it follows logic. I'm not saying it's illogical on their end, but it's,
The coronavirus was supposed to kill off all these old people. It fucking didn't do its job. Damn Wuhan.
That's a valid point, sir. But it's one of those, like I've talked to Gloria Johnson a little bit about it. I've talked to a number of people. We had Becky Massey's at least halfway pro pot person, and I think the reality of it is it's not a political win. It's nothing that it doesn't move the needle on voting, so it's not something that anybody's going to push. And so the existence of the handful of hardcore, old school, fucking reefer madness politicians that are in place, especially in the Southeast, they're going to hold that because it's not something that's they're not losing their job over it. It's not something.
Well,
it's not something that changes the electorate part of it. It's just one of those things.
Well, they're missing out because that is the only topic that my wife votes on. Sorry, are they pro-pot? No, I'm not voting for them.
Well, as much as I love your wife, she is one
I'm voting
person
for
and one vote. Figure out how to get her to vote like 55 times, and then she might start counting for something.
But yeah,
Because
you got to be a Democrat to do that, though.
I was to say, like, I think it's one of those you're not gonna like as a Democrat in Tennessee, it doesn't change anything for you. It's not going to make you significantly more popular. You might get a handful of new votes from some more conservative-ish people or whatever. But as a Republican, it doesn't.
I have to disagree. I don't think that the marijuana vote is Democrat.
I 100% think it is.
I think it's a don't care. And again, it's not a strong enough issue to matter, and I think that's the reality of it, is that it's not an issue that a quote standard conservative anti-abortion small government kind of whatever bullshit they rhetoric on kind of thing. It's not one that's gonna activate the base to get you to come out and vote. What's going to get people to come out and vote is going on the anti-abortion or the critical race theory in schools argument and all that kind of bullshit. That's what gets you to vote. A Republican running on hey, I want legal weed in Tennessee is not going to get people out to vote for them, even if they're good on those other issues.
I think that if they had a national vote that to legalize marijuana,
I agree. 100%.
That shit would go through like 70%.
I think if you had a Tennessee only vote on marijuana, I think it would pass.
Yeah, like I don't
think so at all.
There has been some stuff on it. There's been some national ones. I don't know if there's been a Tennessee only one. Because I mean, the best example is vacation a couple weeks ago with my dad, who's an old school conservative, and we were talking about it. He's like, I don't care. So, worst case scenario, if it's on the ballot in front of him, he's going to skip it and just not vote on it. And I think there are enough pro that if everybody that doesn't care skips it, because they will, if it's an actual ballot item, which it's never going to be a ballot item, but if it were an actual ballot item, I think the number that actually votes on it would be enough to pass it.
I think there's a lot of closet.
Then get it on the ballot then.
Okay.
I mean, that's doable. I mean, you can get it on the ballot.
Okay. I mean, we can.
I mean, so I do not believe that. I'll tell you what. If you could get seriously, if you could get marijuana on the ballot,
okay,
and it passes in the state of Tennessee, I will pay your hunting license until you retire at 60.
So,
you're just gonna buy him a sportsman's lifetime license.
Probably, yeah.
Right. Which how much is that for me?
Like $1,800, something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it would cost $500,000 to get that on the ballot.
No.
Why would it cost $500,000?
Yeah.
Because how do I get? What's the population of the state of Tennessee?
I have no idea.
I have to get a significant percentage of the state of Tennessee to petition and be legal voters in the state of Tennessee to make it a ballot item.
Is this a
or I have to lobby and hire a
finish.
lobbyist that has the value enough that can get a state senator or something to put it on.
Are you trying to educate me on this, or are you going to answer my question? I just said do it. I don't really care about the whatever you have to do to do it. I just said do it. You said okay.
Well, the value the value of the lifetime sportsman license versus how much it will cost me to do it is
there's no way it's going to take. It would cost you $500,000 to do that.
Okay.
There's no way.
I'll see if I can find out how much the Scruffy City PAC is spending on their.
I will do it. I will get it on the ballot for $200,000. How about that?
Okay. I'll see if I can find out how much the Scruffy City PAC is spending on getting a city item on the ballot without the city council.
You just seem very emotionally distraught over this as a response. So I don't understand where you're coming from on this.
Well, I mean, part of it is why it's so ridiculously impossible to get things as a ballot initiative.
How many votes do you need to get something on a ballot? If you have if I I have a piece of paper that says legalize marijuana recreational Tennessee.
Well,
How many of us-
the first thing you'd have to do is you'd have to hire a lawyer to write the thing in the correct verbiage to make it ballotable. And then, God, I've been over this 1,000 times. I can't believe I can't remember the number, but it's something like 15% of the electorate. So, the current population of
the voting population of Tennessee.
I'm working on it with 3 E's. Tennessee currently is just short of 7 million. So you'd have to get 700.
You mean to tell me you don't think you could actually have a Facebook?
One plus million people
You don't
that are
think-
registered legal voters.
I'll let you finish.
I don't. I think it would cost a lot of money to get 1+ million people in the state of Tennessee that are legal voters.
So
I don't
start
think it would.
a Facebook group.
That's what I was going
called
to say, yeah.
Legalize marijuana in Tennessee, and then you get like one person to join, and go to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why this would cost a whole ton of money, but
Facebook's free.
Yeah, Facebook's free.
Wow.
How many friends they got?
Only 230 something.
Yeah.
Well, probably 230 something, but 230 are not just in Tennessee, I'm sure.
Yeah, but how many are Russian bots?
Yes, how many are Russian bots? All of Seth's friends are Russian bots.
All right, I got just a quick search on it. I've got legalized marijuana in Tennessee with 1,000 likes, and then another one is with 600 likes, as far as groups that are trying to get legal weed in Tennessee on Facebook right now.
Interesting.
So again, I mean, I guess I how to word this? Trying to as a community put a ballot item on a ballot is near impossible.
okay.
So that's all. It's not.
I think the election commissioner kind of brought up how many doors you would have to knock on to get the numbers.
Right,
that
and
you
it's in
would
a
need
short
for
period of
certain
time. Right,
things.
it's like 90 days.
Right.
And so yeah,
you'd have to knock on 2,500 doors every single day.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Davis essentially told me as the administrator of elections in Knox County, it's near impossible. If it's not approved, if it's not put on by the commission or the mayor's office, if it's not initiated through the government that already exists, it's near impossible to do. Not impossible, but pretty damn close. I mean, the joke is if I wanted to try to get Libertarian on the ballot, if I wanted to run as Libertarian for District 4 in the county, I'd have to get more people to sign the petition to let the L be on the ballot than live in my district, because I'd have to do it countywide.
Yay, politics.
It's a mess.
What do we do about it?
All right, pitch a fit. It's a start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's elect better people. I mean, because the real way the real way you're going to get it done is to have elected officials that are willing to do it for you. But again,
So for you to be on the ballot, you have to have more people say you can be on the ballot than actually vote for you.
if I wanted to if I wanted to be recognized as a party that isn't one of the two, yes, I could go on as an independent with 25 signatures.
With 25.
Yeah, but it'd be it's like 45,000 or 75,000 or something like that. It'd have to be whatever the percentage is of the county to approve libertarianism being on the ballot for me to run as libertarian.
Is there a way to change that without input from the electorate? Can they do
state
that?
State law could change it. That's some stuff that they tried to work on this year. Ballot access reform is one of the items that was on some state level stuff this year, but never went anywhere. Got talked about, and then died in subcommittees or went to summer session or, the shit that they do.
You just need 7 million people to say yeah.
Well, you need a million plus to say yeah, and then you need 3.5 million to vote on it when it actually is on the ballot.
But you don't have 3.5 million people actually vote, so
right.
No.
Again, right? That'd be a good question. That's a good question. How many voted in the 22 or in the 20 election in the state of Tennessee? How many votes total presidential votes the state of Tennessee put up?
Numbers are out there.
Fuck.
I'm not saying look it up. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I think it's been long enough that we know how many votes were cast in that election.
Oh, we don't know. It's still up in the air. How many votes actually cast?
Yeah, because none of them have been certified.
Tennessee has electoral votes. Trump got them all. Where's just a chart? Give me a chart.
Give me a chart.
Total votes from 2020 in the Republican primary. That's not what I want. Democratic primary.
I was about to say it was like 300 something. I was like, that can't be right.
Do.
What the fuck is that Mason-Dixon poll?
Results. 3
3
million, a little over 3 million total votes in the state of Tennessee, according to Wiki.
Half.
So yeah, a little less than half the populace. Yeah, which I mean, I don't know what the math is on how many are under voting age, but
oh yeah, exactly. I was about to say so 6 million. That's including people that are not of voting age.
Right. And I don't. And to be fair, I'd have to check the election law on whether that percentage required would have to be of voting age residents or total residents.
I'm assuming voting age. If you're getting those numbers, they're going to expect those numbers to be people that could then go and vote.
So what you're saying is it's not a popular vote; it's a percent population.
Just because I'm here, Kanye West took 4th in the state of Tennessee.
That's crazy.
Apparently, Matt Shears was telling me that Kanye West did the best in Tennessee of any state as far as percentage of total votes.
What the hell's the Alliance Party?
I don't know. Rocky De La Fuente. 862 write-ins. So yeah, that's exciting. What else is new?
I'm talking about college. They got the NCAA, or I guess the Supreme Court case that finally came down that said they can now reap the rewards of
likeness rights.
Their likeness rights, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that, I guess.
Okay, they can profit off of their stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, to what end? Is this going to now encourage players even that much more to go to the bigger schools to get themselves that much? Well, I mean, they're already going to bigger schools to get more, I guess, exposure to then bring them into the pros.
But now Nike can take that, whatever person that's a star quarterback and sponsor them and use them for commercials and shit like that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because I remember seeing one thing. It was like an Under Armour league. I guess it's basically like a high school basketball league of like these up and coming teenagers, and how they can't take money from the companies, but they interviewed one kid and he had literally like 50 different pairs of like basketball shoes. He was like, I just like give them out to all my friends.
But they couldn't pay him money.
But yeah, basically, yeah, they couldn't pay him money, but I guess they could give him free Under Armour shit.
Hmm. But that shit should have changed a long time ago. Like, the university is making a shit ton of money off of, Hell, when Peyton Manning was quarterback, you know, how many jerseys did the university sell because that said, you know, Peyton Manning on the back of it?
Right.
And he didn't keep shit of it. So I'm cool with those players getting the money.
Yeah, but they need that money to pay the professors to teach those students. So, I mean, how else are the teachers going to get paid?
Well, if you're a scholarship athlete, you can't work part of your scholarship. So, how do you pay for extracurricular stuff?
I guess it kind of depends on the business model. I mean, a lot of schools have, you know, kind of relied upon them being on ESPN Game Day and whatnot to get their name out there and make money, getting their exposure out there.
They make a lot of money on TV and shit like that. I mean, again, they're like, when you get to this level of stuff, it's the same as like government spending on stuff. Like, it's just like numbers that don't make sense. Like millions and millions of dollars for, you know, being in a freaking, you know, I don't know, the Music City Bowl or whatever. Like the amount of money that schools get paid off of that, and it's like, well, that's a ton of fucking money. How are they having? I mean, you know, why is it such a like? Because it's always important. They got to do more money. They got to have more sales. They got to do more revenue. The athletic program needs more money, and it's like, how do you need more money? You make millions and millions of dollars a year. I don't understand it.
I just worry about the reliance upon, I guess, that. You're just kind of banking. That's the only way you're going to be able to make money as a college.
But I mean, I guess the question is, if the University of Tennessee had no decent sports programs, like we had our teams because we have our teams, but they were, you know, if we were a Vanderbilt level of quality football team, if we were a Tennessee traditionally level baseball team, if we were, you know, I don't know, whatever basketball team always sucks in the SEC, which used to be us as well, and men's. And, you know, if we had no teams that were any good in anything, that never got any airtime, nobody paid attention to, does the university still exist? Like,
yeah.
Like, what does one have to do with the other is, I guess, the question. And it's like, well, the better the team is, the more money they make. The more money they make, the more they can spend on the things that it takes to have a good team. So, but what does that have to do with the whole other side of, or I'm sorry, the whole school side of the school? Like, what does that have to do with it? Like, I can understand the idea of, like, you know, we have a program that's not making any money, and so we don't give out a lot of scholarships because we can't have classrooms full of students that aren't paying to be there because we got to pay the teachers and the buildings and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get that, but
well, I heard one time that was like the, you know, University of Tennessee, like 80% of the football income was paid for the budget for all sports. So, you know,
right, they get the golf team and the water polo and
and the baseball team and basketball, like, you know, that kind of stuff, like that football paid for most of those other sports to be viable. But I mean, I don't know that to be 100%.
I've heard,
true.
I've definitely heard something similar to that.
Right, but the root question is, how does that create value for the university as a whole? Does that make it a better, you know, does that make the nursing program better at UT? No. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I don't know when they say it pays for 80% of the sports, but is it like 100% of the football income goes towards the athletic department, or is it like 70% of the football income goes towards the athletic department, and then there's 30% that goes towards facilities and,
right.
you know,
exactly, yeah.
And obviously a percentage has to go back to the university, at least to cover the, you know, teachers and stuff like that those scholarship students are using. But again, you know, at the end of the day, if we didn't have any of that, does that change the value of a nursing degree?
I think so. I mean, a better school that makes more money can have better facilities and better teachers and pay their teachers more, so in turn makes a better program. Because
I mean, I don't know. I guess
that's where it gets to the point where, you know, that football program is saying, hey, we're bringing in that much more money. Like, why should we have to give out to other programs when what's making us money is what's making us money? So more money should be pumped back into, that program is making us money to make us more money.
Right, but what's the? I guess the question is, what's the product of the university?
Right.
Is the product of the university athletics, or is the product of the university in education?
Right.
I don't know. Does anybody feel like they maybe got a better education in some level at the University of Tennessee because of the quality of the football program?
No, no, but I would say that
I don't hold a degree from there.
I was really trying hard to point that at a specific individual who's busy doing something else, so it doesn't matter.
Are you talking about the guy that has 4 degrees from the University of Tennessee?
I think he's only got 2 from the University of Tennessee.
Where's your other degrees from?
3.
Or is it?
He's got 3 of his 4. One's from a different school, some North Carolina, some
Trump U,
some Tennessee East school.
North Carolina and Tennessee East School?
No, North Carolina is the Tennessee East school. That's a fun little history tidbit. The University of Tennessee existed before the state of Tennessee did.
I believe I have heard
It's
that.
actually technically a University of North Carolina at one point.
What?
Yeah, Tennessee was a territory of North Carolina before it became its own state, and UT Knoxville was a university before the state of Tennessee was a state.
Knoxville used to be our capital.
Yeah. Franklin used to be a separate state.
What?
Yes.
You guys are like...
All sorts of tidbits of random knowledge right now. You're welcome,
What is it?
audience. This has been a killer show. This is fucking fantastic.
What else you got for us, Mr. Wizard?
That's it. I just blew it out. I blew all I got.
Hey. What are you doing? You sleeping?
I've been trying to get him in a conversation, and he keeps not taking the bait. I kept throwing out how much better his degrees from the University of Tennessee were because of how good the football team is in making money. Not the good product on the field part, but the good product of what they do for the school. And he's not answering those. Still. I don't know. Let's change subject. AC, what would you like to talk about, buddy? Tell us something new. What's new in your life? How was Chattanooga?
That's good.
It's good? You want to talk about how much you like their riverfront and how much you hate Knoxville's in return?
Bob Corker.
So what we need is a real estate developer. We need a real estate guy instead of a wrestler. That's what you're telling. That's what I'm hearing.
It might help. It definitely might help.
All right. So it's not the wrestler part that's the problem. It's the wrestler. Sorry. I didn't see him. He had a float at the parade, but I didn't actually see him, which is I'm assuming he wasn't there. But then I saw a live feed from the Hornbeck thing that he was there, but I can't imagine that I saw a float and didn't see him because he's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
It's kind of cool.
I bet they weren't at the Powell parade, were they?
No, who gives a shit about Powell?
Well, fuck Farragut. I don't like those people anyway.
Well, I mean, I actually.
How many listeners that live in Farragut? Fuck you guys.
There you go. That's how you work. Well, all of you that I gave cards to today that are giving us a shot, I apologize.
Yeah.
I enjoyed you. I enjoyed the parade. Although, yeah. So we're doing the parade thing, and I was giving cards. I was trying to give cards out to some of the different candidates as they walk by or whatever. And this kid comes up. They give out candy to the kids or whatever, and so they have these kids running around handing out candy. And it was Jimmy J.J. Jones float. Had a kid come over. I was like, "Hey, give this to Jimmy for me. I'd love to talk to him." And so he just runs right to Jimmy from me, hands it to him, and Jimmy looks up and he's like looking around. I was like, "Hey, that's me. Give me an email. I want to get you on the show." So look out for that episode coming up. Because I don't know, maybe it's positive thinking, but he seemed like he looked at the card and seemed to feel like I've got the feeling that he knew what it was. And so I'll take that as a win. I mean, I had Spangler on here, so I'm sure he's paying attention. Oh, yes. Side note, Matt Shears, you owe me drinks for that Spangler interview.
Why?
because he bet me that I couldn't get Spangler on the show, and I did.
You said that before?
Do what?
Haven't you said that before?
Yeah, but he just asked me why, and so I just.
No. I mean,
Oh, I'm just rubbing it in. It's just.
I don't remember betting you. Who are you talking to?
not you.
Oh.
I bet Matt Shears bet me that I couldn't get Sheriff Spangler on the show.
Yeah, Seth has brought that up before. So either he's not listening or he's not paying up.
So Matt Shears owes you beers.
Yes.
Yes.
So make Matt Shears buy you beers at eBay, so then you double dip.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, he was never going to pay for it anyway, so that's probably where he would end up going.
He probably would put it as a business expense.
Yeah. I mean, I got to get the business license for the show up and all that kind of stuff.
Not you, Matt.
Oh, I don't know if he can. Well, yeah, that's all he gets. He doesn't get paid. All he gets money for is to do things like that. So yeah, you listeners that contribute to the county party are going to pay for Matt to buy me drinks. But I mean, in fairness, what he's done on the show and helping me get some of his party members on the show, it's got value for them, presumably.
And he bet you that you wouldn't get that dude on the show. That's funny.
Yeah. Apparently,
did he give you a reason why he said you wouldn't get him on the show?
I mean, apparently he's just notorious for not doing interviews, and and with the small time that we are.
He looked at our show and was like, "Yeah, I'll do this show because nobody's listening anyway."
Yeah.
And when someone says you don't do interviews, I did.
Yep. I'll take it. It's a rolling process. I don't know. It goes into that whole thing. It's like I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I never will be that way. But I just don't I just want to let people talk. I'm not trying to push any buttons. I'm not trying to start anything. If there's something that's said that's completely wrong, I'll call it out. But for the most part, I just want to let them talk and see if I can figure out something out in the process. I consider myself a useful idiot. So
you don't call those motherfuckers out, Jesus.
Well, I gotta wait. I mean, he did talk about Dare in the back of my head. I was like, Dare's so stupid, but left alone. Because the takeaway for me is Dare's just hey, cops lie to you. Cool.
People lie.
Well, yeah, but it's a program specifically designed to lie to kids. So,
dissuading them against drugs.
Do what?
Dissuading them against drugs.
I mean, it demonizes drugs. It's the start of the process of demonizing drugs in kids' heads, and and the police are the only ones that can fix it. This is how to fix it. You call us.
Okay. So how do you fix drug problems?
What are drug problems?
You don't have a lighter. Your bong is broken. There's a couple.
I mean, yes, people have problems with drugs. I'm not trying to pretend like that doesn't exist, but
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
For a 10-year-old, what is a drug problem? For a 12-year-old, I don't know what the DARE program focuses on age-wise.
It's been, I think it was middle school was the last time I took a DARE program.
Yeah. I don't remember it either, and that may be the problem. So maybe I should go take the class, and
there's
then we can talk
a
about
plethora of different drugs that go under the umbrella of drug issues.
Right. Didn't DARE stand for drugs are really expensive? Isn't that what it was, an acronym?
I mean, it's accurate, but I don't think that's the acronym they were using.
I don't know I can't remember what it meant. DARE was an acronym.
Drug abuse resistance education.
That's it.
There we go. I was just trying to think of it too, and I'm like, I don't remember.
I don't remember. I always remember the funny one.
I just remember the dog and the cars. Oh, the sheriff's office has a side-by-side. That was at the parade today.
What?
I was jealous. It's a nice side-by-side.
Wow.
Damn it. It probably started up right away.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about it when I saw it. Like, that was the process. I was like, why the fuck do they have one? But, you know, I mean, it's county, so they got to get out in some bumfuckery. So I could see the use.
What?
Compared to them flying 2 fucking helicopters overhead, I'm pretty sure the fucking side-by-side's low on the list of shit they're wasting money on.
Well, next month, I'm taking that side-by-side to the Yamaha dealership and having them look at it.
Put a muffler on it? That'd be helpful.
Put a muffler on. I'm gonna be like, I don't want it loud. Like, can you change it so it's not, like, super loud? And I'm buying another
Awning.
4-wheeler.
And an awning.
No, what I got the RV back. It's identical to condition as AC left it, except for it has a couple zip ties on it. I told him, I was like, I'll go pick it up, and then you guys, whenever you guys get the fucking awning in, I'll bring it down there and just put it on.
Are they waiting on a computer chip or something? Because that's what everybody else is waiting on right now.
Yeah, it's computer chip on my awning, sure, probably.
Did they get the right size?
Yeah,
that fucking thing is big.
Yeah.
Let me be the first one to tell you that thing is actually pretty fucking big.
Yeah, but the last time it got broken, they put the wrong size one back on it.
They put the wrong size on, yeah.
It was small. The
time before you and I broke it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The one that you picked up off of the tree, or left next to the tree. Excuse me.
I'm sure it's still there.
The one that you guys left there is smaller than was supposed to be on it.
The original one. So, but anyway, I'm talking to the guy. I was like, and I was like, so you guys take all the brackets off and the mounting stuff off the side of the RV? And he was like, yeah, it's completely stripped. We're just waiting for the new one to come in because they could do new arms and all that kind of stuff. So he gives me the keys. I walk out there, and those arms still have my shoelaces tied on the top. But they also put a zip tie on it. And
This is what everybody's been waiting on.
That motherfucker lied to me. Like, it is no different than I brought it here, except for it has 2 zip ties on it now. Right? Damn it. But it's here, so I can use it, and I can do stuff with it now. I just don't have an awning to sit outside.
I've been thinking about going up there like over the next 5 or 6 weeks and just like see if I can rent a jet ski and just fuck around on the lake. I've been thinking about doing that.
I wouldn't mind going out there and camping early just to see
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. I mean, it would be no different than what Sam and Seth do when we actually go hunting.
Man, it sucks to have a good time and hang out and just enjoy, friends and life and shit. It's fucking terrible. Anybody got Apple TV?
Nope.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Jason Sudeikis, it's the football or soccer, series?
Yes, where he was like
he was a Wichita State football coach and
football coach. They hired him to coach professional soccer.
That's fantastic. I super enjoyed that.
I think I saw the original little spoof they did of it, and then apparently it just got really popular, so they made it a whole little show out of it.
Great show. Really great show. Probably one of the. I mean, it's a sitcom, but it's fantastic.
They did a really good job because they do a great job of I don't even know what you call it, like idiot savant kind of thing. Like, you think he's dumb, he's a dumbass, but he's actually super smart.
Yeah,
is that what you call?
He's the he's what I assume the definition of a player's coach is.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you talking about? Like somebody that you think is stupid and they're actually smart. Is that idiot savant or no?
I mean, it's underestimated. I mean, I don't know that there's a particular term for it, but it's a fun show. I liked it. Liked it a lot. Started watching the morning show. Seen that one?
Yeah, I watched the first season, maybe. I don't know how many seasons there are, but
it's what's his name from the Today Show? That's like half the show is the Steve Carell character is Brian Williams, not Brian Williams.
No, Matt Lauer.
Yeah, Matt Lauer.
Yeah, but it's him, Jennifer Aniston, and then whatever her name is. Anna, is it
Miss
Anna?
Congeniality. Fuck, what is her name? It's gonna drive me nuts.
No, that'd be Sandra Bullock.
No, yeah, you're right. That's God. What was there? Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, is it Anna Fair? Well, I don't want to say Anna Fair.
It's not Anna Faris. It's fuck. Who is it? It's gonna drive me nuts because I love that chick. She was God. What was the fucking lawyer movie that she did?
Legally Blonde.
Yeah, Legally Blonde. All right, fine. I'll have to look it up because I feel like an idiot right now.
I'm blanking on it as well.
There it is.
What is her name?
Reese Witherspoon. God
Reese
damn it.
Witherspoon.
She's fantastic.
She's pretty good at that. So, Little Bitty Liars or something like that.
I don't know. She went to Stanford, apparently.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, that's it. That's a pretty good show with her in it, too.
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies, that's it.
Big Little Lies.
It's an
We were
HBO
close.
show. Yeah, it had lies and little and other things.
Yeah, a couple more words in there. It's okay.
Yeah, stuff and junk. Oh, all right. We're dry, guys. Come on. This sucks. This is rough.
That's all I got.
What else we got going on
AC
in the
fellas.
world?
I mean, we're running on these city elections, and nobody cares about those. All the count, like, what's crazy to me is how much of the 22 stuff's already happening, like county wise. Like, Biggs and his not comptroller, but Biggs was there. I mean, Biggs was running. Biggs in the parade was running on his new seat. There's a bunch of people. There's some county clerks that were. There was one county clerk and a district judge that was in the parade today that was running on their 22 ballot thing. And we already have Jacobs running on his 22 ballot. And I guess I get it if I think about it for a little bit. I get it for a portion of it because the 22 race for Republicans is next summer. Because it's really the primary that they're running for a lot of these seats because it's Tennessee and Knoxville and Knox County at least, and Republicans win the county, so it's the primary that they're running for. So it's sooner than the actual election of the November election of 22. So I get why it starts a little early, but I mean, like I don't know that I've heard anything on city races other than in the Compass as far as news-wise goes. Have you guys, other than what we've done on the show and what I've read on the Compass, have you guys seen any conversation about city races?
Conversation.
Normal, right? I mean, that's probably pretty normal.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, like,
I see signs out.
yeah. I mean, because you got to, I mean,
Signs out.
well, you're not in city, so like until you get into city areas, you wouldn't anyway. But like, I mean, for Sam at least, there's 3 pretty strong candidates happening in Sam's district. There's only 2. It's the incumbent Roberto. I don't know. You had the list. It was in your chair.
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
It got set down here, but Sam's district's got David Hayes, something Cruz, and the incumbent all running there, Tommy Smith. And like that's I don't know. That seems like an interesting race. AC's got Roberto and Smith. The closest to you, Max, but not you, would be Seema trying to keep her seat against Caparo. Jim Clemaris, Jen McMahon, and Lauren Ryder. I'm sorry, that's that's District 4. That's downtownish, closer to downtown. That's an interesting one as well. And then District 6 is running, which I've got Garrett Holt from that one coming on Monday. So I don't know. It's disappointing to see how little there's been any conversation about it. City just agreed to KUB. That KUB deal's happening, so yeah, all of our KUB bills are going up.
I'm shocked.
I mean, I'm not even sure. It's not clear to me whether I get access to the broadband they're putting out.
I saw one thing it was talking about like a surrounding county that was kind of behind it. Almost as if like KUB was going to extend
KUB
outside
goes
of
up.
Knox County.
It's up on Max's side of town. It goes into what's northeast of you, Max, county wise.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Union or Granger.
Yeah, KUB goes up into there because I was looking at there was a graphic of it. It was very unclear on that graphic on whether I hit it or not because it stops close to me on that graphic and I couldn't quite tell, but it goes past the county line up that direction. So I don't know. You have to ask Keith who he gets his power from.
Yeah, I think up into like Rocky Top, it's like First Utility District.
I mean, that's
if I'm not
west.
mistaken.
That's out here on the further west side of town.
No, I mean it's north. It's north of Rocky Top's north of Alton Town.
No, but I mean
Right.
First Utility District because I'm pretty sure. Like my parents that are further west from me get Lenore City Utilities and KUB, but I think First is like up towards Anderson County or something like that. That's what I thought.
Which, yeah, be about right.
But to get all the way
So I
up to
think
Rocky Top,
when I was living off of Lovell, it was like something for the water. It was like West Knox Utility Group. Shit, what was that?
yeah, my parents get KB Power. No, they get the North City Power. Something else for water. Theirs is all split up, all fucking weird.
Yeah, when I was right out there off Lovell, close to Pellissippi, not too far from Anderson County, it was LCUB and West Knox Utility for water.
I don't know. I go back to what we were talking about last week. I don't understand why a power and water company is going to get into the data business and why we're forced to financially support that.
Yeah, I mean,
I understand the premise that they go for that for what they do currently, they go further into places that Comcast, AT&T,
I agree with
Frontier,
that. Like
and those don't.
If Frontier, Comcast, AT&T wanted to do it,
Right, but KUB doesn't want to do it either, except that they're getting a big fucking grant for it, and they get the excuse to up their rates on the things that have nothing to do with that. My point on it is that the same amount of money spent with Comcast or KUB could put the stuff in the same places, or less money as far as out of our pockets as a constituency.
okay, so we're quote unquote
On somebody that
supporting a local company versus a national.
I don't understand what this fucking local company thing is on your side. Like I just don't get it.
KUB.
I understand. Right, I get the reference of that, but a local company that doesn't do a thing, a particular thing, we're just going to pick them out of obscurity for a local company. Why don't you pick eVape to provide broadband to all of Knox County? Because eVape doesn't do internet. Why? I mean, KUB doesn't do internet, so we're just picking a random company to do it. That's my problem with that. That's where I get a little weird on it. I understand that they have infrastructure in place for other things, and they have
So you've already answered part of your own question.
But Comcast already has infrastructure in place and the ability to do it, and they actually do data to start with. That's the difference. Again, the dumbass analogy that I've come up with is if I want to make sure that everybody in Knox County has access to tomatoes, I'm not going to go to Best Buy and say, hey, make sure you sell tomatoes because I want everybody in Knoxville to get tomatoes. Best Buy doesn't sell fucking groceries. Doesn't make sense. Why would I go to them? They don't do that. I wouldn't go to Lowe's. I wouldn't go to Home Depot. I would go to, I don't know, Food City. That's the thing to me that doesn't make sense about it. Just because the idea of broadband being a utility makes sense, why do we go to a company that doesn't do broadband to be the one to do it? That's where I get weird on it.
What is so difficult about doing broadband?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it easy? I don't understand. What are you saying right now?
You're running cable basically.
Okay. So there's nothing that's all it is. Is you just put a cable in the ground and you shove it in somebody's house and all of a sudden they have internet?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, well then maybe we should do it.
I mean,
Max, maybe we need
what
to
do you
get in
think
the
power
broadband business.
companies do? I mean, you think power companies just know everything there is to know about fucking power?
About fucking power? I think
yes,
that,
about
I would assume
fucking
that,
power.
I would assume that KUB is an expert on electricity providing. Yeah, and all the parts and pieces that it takes to do that, yeah. Because I don't think it's just running a fucking wire to your house and all of a sudden you can plug shit into your walls. Because I assume it's hold on, let me channel my AC here. It's more fucking complicated
Are you doing
than
ohm
that.
laws?
Yeah, I took my electronics classes.
That's
But
okay.
I don't understand how a business expansion to create them more money is a cost of the current customers.
No, yes, it is. It always is.
It shouldn't be.
It always is. We expanded to a second store on the expense of our first store. And we've continued to keep it open despite its lack of being profitable to date.
No. There's a difference. There's difference if we had our first store and we said, hey, we want to open a new store up so we can make more money. Let's raise our prices by 20% to cover the expansion of the new store.
Well, the reason we can't do that is that those customers have a choice where we
That's
don't.
what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying. KUB is doing this expansion in the internet business. It's $702 million expansion that they're going to pay for that by raising the utility prices for their current customers.
Right. And just for just to be fair, they are getting grants and stuff on the side, which we are also paying for and tax stuff and blah blah blah. But yes, you're correct. I don't disagree with you. I was helping illustrate the point because we don't charge. We didn't start charging more just so we could open a new store.
I mean, the rate hike for me being a KUB customer was literally not that much at all.
But
like,
for
literally
what are you getting for it?
Negligible.
Why? But why? I agree. It's negligible. 3% this year is not a big number.
That would be the savings that I would have versus having to go through. I have Comcast and AT&T as my options for internet providers.
If you pick up the internet as part of your option. Right. And I agree. I'm pretty sure if I understand it correctly, I will pay less for better internet service theoretically, at least from what's being told right now. I'll have better service as far as higher speeds and all that kind of shit from the KUB access if it leads up to what they're saying, that I will end up paying less when I drop we have AT&T right now. When I drop AT&T and go to KUB Broadband, assuming I get access to it, and I will pay less for faster service from KUB if everything comes out the way they say it's going to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's not but it's not negligible if I'm not getting the service from them. So when is it going to be available? Because I'm getting the rate hike now. When is it going to be available?
They've already.
I mean, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, but I'm going to get it before they fucking run the lines out here. I guarantee you that. So I'm going to be paying more for what?
5 years.
Right, assuming it gets here in a couple years. Let's assume it gets here before the end of the 3 year when it's at 9%, when the 9% raise gets all the way through it. So I'm paying.
Yeah, I'm assuming that rate increase is not infinite. It's not.
It's first 3
it's
years.
Not never ending.
It's 3% a year for the first 3 years for a total of 9%.
Yeah,
that's what the deal is currently. So am I going to have access in 3 years?
My thought is, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make that much of a difference versus you having fucking drafty windows. Like I said, going off my bill, I don't know about anybody else's bills, that 3% or whatever the fuck, was not that much.
So should KUB give me a discount on top of what less I'm spending because my windows are better?
Power companies adjust their rates all the fucking time. Well, not all the fucking time.
I don't understand. Okay, so this is something that we've had a number of conversations around where there's this. This is how it is, and so okay, let's just say okay to it. There's a number of topics we've had this on where it's well, power companies change their rates, and so that's just how it is, and so we should say okay to that. And that's the argument that I'm getting from Sam right now.
It's not okay. You can't just be it's just. That's how it is, man. Can't deal with it. Whatever. Because
we've had the argument a number of times about metadata and all the data collection and spying and all that kind of shit. And people getting other stuff. It's well, they take it all the time. So we should be okay with it. I'm just I get it. I don't disagree with you that those are facts, but how does that change what we're talking about now?
Like identity fraud, it happens all the time. Just get used to it. Like, no big deal, man. Someone steals your identity. It happens.
Spam calls. You get them all the time. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk about it and say you wish you could do something about it.
You do what you do to safeguard yourself from those, but it is an inevitability, yes.
Right, but when going back to the particular of this KUB kind of whatever, like our elected officials voted to give permission to the utility board to do this to us as constituents and customers of KUB. I mean, was this a conversation when we elected these people? I mean, how much conversation was had? And the Biggs thing was a kind of fucking debacle, but the Biggs thing, it kicked in and said, hey, city, please don't vote to approve this because Comcast wants to get in on this too. And the city went ahead and approved it.
All right.
Because they don't need to listen to Biggs, and I agree with that part of it. But it's like, was that a part of the conversation? Did I miss it? Maybe. But
I mean, I don't know how much reaching out was done before that. I remember reading one of the responses from somebody high up at KUB that said, we've been talking about this for months and we haven't heard any kind of pushback. I'm assuming they talked to local legislators who then, I'm assuming, talked to their constituents as well. I don't think this was done without any kind of public input. I semi-agree with Biggs that maybe they could have waited another month to get more community input. But at the same time, like, it wasn't something they just pulled out of a hat and were like, all right, we're making this so.
I mean, it was leaned on. I mean, it was leaned on it's a state issue and a federal issue right now that it was leaned on that it needs to get done. But again, I mean, why is it, did it need to be Comcast's initiative to push it? Did nobody go to Comcast and say, hey, we've got an initiative to expand internet access to more people and there's a grant for it. Do you want to know this?
As if AT&T and Comcast didn't have that thought in their mind?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I'm just saying.
But pushback, I mean, but you're talking about their top of KUB said there's no pushback on this. So we're assuming that pushback versus a competing bid, for lack of a better word, that's not the same thing.
I mean, I think we first heard of KUB talking about doing broadband at least 2 or 3 months ago.
The reality is this is a semantics thing because it was talking about utilitizing broadband. And so when we talk about utilitizing things, we start talking to utility companies. I think that's where the problem actually comes in realistically in this conversation. Semantics sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a gray area. I mean, as we've kind of talked about before, of just internet being a utility has become more almost of a necessity, but...
And I don't disagree with that part of it. It's just the idea that the utility company has to be the one to provide it is the problem I have.
They don't have to be, but like you said, they've got some of the infrastructure already in place. It's not necessarily an inevitability.
What
but
infrastructure? I don't understand that.
Power lines.
Okay.
Where do you think cable and fiber optic goes through?
They go through fiber optic lines.
Outside of having
to go through a power line, you can't. I can't plug my computer into the outlet and get internet. It's not the same line.
Where does Comcast get that from?
They run it on the fucking poles with.
They run it on the poles?
Okay.
Where are those power lines coming from?
From the fucking poles.
Oh, okay.
So
that's all I was saying.
So I don't understand. I understand the words that you're saying, but I don't understand how that applies to what I was saying prior to that.
KUB still has to run lines on all the poles that are out there.
And if they're going to extend, if KUB is going to extend, KUB has to do it from scratch. Comcast is already on the poles in certain parts. They just have to extend it to the parts in question.
Not fiber optic.
Huh?
Not fiber optic.
Oh, so the utility is the super high speed internet, not just internet.
Well, I think that's the one thing that KUB has mainly been pushing is doing the fiber optic to get that higher speed.
Okay, so then again, you have KUB, who already has infrastructure in place,
They
and
have-
Comcast, who uses that infrastructure already, needing to upgrade their entire system to be fiber optic through the whole system.
That's been kind of the push for the past like half decade. It's
Okay.
going to more fiber
Right.
optic versus coaxial cable that runs through most power lines. Or
Okay.
not coaxial, but
Coax.
that's a connection. Sorry, that's just a connection.
All right. So that was fun.
Yeah.
AC, what do you got, buddy? Talk to us.
I got nothing.
Tell us something.
I've got a
You
cigar. I'm gonna go
smoked or-
smoke here in a second.
You've been so much fun today.
Thanks, man.
Like, you've been a great show.
Thanks, dude.
It's been like, I mean, like, I complain all the time when you're not here, and you're here.
I am indeed.
And
You're absolutely right.
yeah.
I thought I was the quiet one.
Busted. Max, you awake, buddy?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Just checking. All right, we got. We need to, for
For
the sake of consistency, we got to fill 10 more minutes.
No, I'm done.
All right. Well, I'll talk to myself then. Screw you guys. I'm already at home. All right. Well, I'm gonna talk as slow as I can through the outro. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Almost Agreement. We're Almost Agreement at gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. We are on the interwebs with almostagreement.com. You can go there and check out all the episodes, or you can find us on your favorite podcast provider. And while you're at any of those podcast providers, give us a like, share, subscribe, those nice, cool things that help get our name out there and that kind of thing. So, like I said, I got Garrett Holt coming up. Trying to sneak another episode or two in this coming week. Fourth Creek Brewers Fest, July 10th, 2 p.m. at 126 South North Shore Drive. That's 126 South North Shore. It's Union Jacks. That's eBay West. That's Harper's Bicycles. Come down, check it out. Get the best beers that KUB Water can make. And we'll see you there. We're going to have a good time. That's what we got for tonight. Thanks, everybody, for listening.